Coming up next, it's the world's most watched and #1 professional wrestling talk show, the Pro Wrestling Report. We're going to preview TNA Sacrifice on pay-per-view, more discussion on TNA's retreat back to Thursdays, the analysis of the eliminations on WWE NXT from this past week, and what's going on SmackDown with the Intercontinental Championship. All that and so much more coming up next on the Pro Wrestling Report, Primetime. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the world's longest-running professional wrestling news program on television. You know that, right?
That's the number.
And voted #1 by the fans all over the world. This is the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Octavius Hero.
I'm back. Finally.
Where'd you go?
Well, you took last week off.
No. That was this contract you keep talking about, and we can only do certain dates now.
So you furloughed me.
Basically.
Thanks.
Thank you for tuning in wherever you may be. An action-packed show to discuss this week, so let's get right down to it. David Hero, the first thing we're going to talk about is TNA's big move back to Thursdays. That happened, and that was announced last week, but we haven't had a chance to talk about it here on this very program. So let's get right down to it. The question that's hanging out there, the one that needs to be answered, what went wrong?
They went up against Raw. That's what went wrong. I mean,
Raw, which got its same rating this week unopposed than it did last week.
Which means nobody missed it.
Spike TV, which scored only half the viewers on Monday night with Star Wars Episode 3 than they did the previous week on Impact.
But everyone's seen Star Wars so many times. Because remember, those aren't the droids you're looking for.
Droid does.
Mm-hmm.
They went up against Raw. Okay, but they had such great promise. January 4th, 1.5. The interest was there. The intrigue was there.
But see,
March
that's where
8th,
you're wrong.
did an okay rating.
Promise doesn't mean anything. You got to deliver every week. You got to make them want
What
to tune
didn't
in
they
every
deliver
week.
on? Where was the error? What went wrong? Where was the mistake? Aside from going up against the juggernaut that is Raw.
They pushed the wrong people.
Like? Say it.
Ric
Say it.
Flair.
No. Really?
Like Hulk Hogan.
No. How are they the wrong people?
Because they're good to have on as an accessory, but people don't want to watch grumpy old men in tights. Okay?
Was that a movie?
It was a movie.
In
They want
tights?
to watch wrestling. You know what? They want to see, Mr. Anderson. They want to see the Pope. They want to see AJ Styles.
I'm sorry? They want to see who?
I said they. I didn't say me.
They
I
want
said
to,
they.
wait, just one more time. They
Mr.
want to see
Anderson.
Mr. Anderson. They want to see
AJ Styles.
and they want to see
Kevin Nash.
and they want to see
Scott Hall.
and they want to see.
Some people want to see the Pope. They do.
Oh, some people.
Some people. Obviously not enough to vote him #1 2 weeks in a row. But some people do.
We are 2 minutes in, and here you go already. But
Because
that's
you
fine.
antagonize
Let me look
it.
at
You
where
brought
the
it.
Pope is right now. Let me check on PWR.
It doesn't
Mobile
make a
here.
difference.
No, I just want to know. Just because you can carry on as you were, your reasons why it failed. They were
no,
pushing the wrong people.
They were. I mean, they weren't giving the people what they wanted. I mean, people complained about the Nasty Boys. They didn't want to see them. Wrestling fans didn't want to see Nasty Boys versus the Dudley Boys. They wanted to see, the Jeff Hardys, the AJ Styles, matches like that, something fresh and new. They didn't want to see stuff that's already been done. And unfortunately, TNA became WCW again. And as we know, that company went out of business.
So they got there too late, basically, because now we're getting the RVD AJs, we're getting the Hardy matches, we're getting some of the matches that you talked about. So did they just take too long getting there, or
They should have waited. If they were to go, let's say in the fall, and go on Monday nights.
Mhm.
Get the product where it should be, work it through spring and summer, get it ready after SummerSlam and, let's say September 1st. That's when you do
new
it.
fall season, buzz about new shows, things of
Right.
that nature?
That's where you get, the different entertainment trade magazines and newspapers say, here's what's coming on cable TV in the fall, and they can talk about it. But for some reason, they just wanted to rush. And you know what? They failed, and they failed miserably. Because now they all have to sit back and eat crow and go back to Thursday nights, which we all know none of them wanted to do that. Well, a few of them did.
That's defeat.
It is defeat.
It's the agony of defeat.
That's Gail Kim's finisher.
But they had so much opportunity. There was so much buzz. I was there live at that January 4th show in Orlando. And whether they
But what was the
continued-
buzz about?
The
Was
buzz
it about
was
Hulk Hogan
Ric
coming
Flair,
in, or was
Hulk
it about
Hogan,
TNA?
Jeff Hardy, all these new people that showed up, Oja, Nasty Boys, stuff
No
like
one knew Jeff Hardy was going to be there.
that. Correct, which is what made that particular episode, that show that night better. They lost the momentum. There's no doubt they had momentum, however they got it, whyever they had it on January 4th, and they lost it from March 8th all the way through. But was it simply the powerhouse of WWE being too big to topple? Were they really trying to topple it? Eric Bischoff has said in some subsequent interviews since this announcement has been made that they weren't there to compete with WWE. They were there to build brand awareness.
He's lying.
Exactly. Yes, completely.
TNA, you can't even compare it to when WCW first started because WCW had their own network.
Yeah, basically.
You know, TNA doesn't have that. And you know what?
They're getting a lot of support from Spike, though.
A lot, but how much money have they lost since January 4th?
That's the real question that unfortunately we don't have.
That company is hemorrhaging money because to put up billboards in Times Square is not cheap. Okay?
Or effective.
Right. To advertise, locally in local markets saying turn on Spike TV now is not cheap.
Right.
They did it the wrong way. They didn't do it the grassroots way.
Which would have taken time.
But
they should have used.
All they have is time.
Yeah. Was the big rush to get to Monday nights too many? Was it all Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan?
Absolutely.
Was it all ego?
Absolutely. It was all ego driven.
Did they ever have a chance starting March 8th? Not if, as you say, they would have waited till September.
Because you can't compete with The Machine. You can't compete with John Cena. You can't compete with DX, Undertaker, Chris Jericho, Sheamus. You just can't compete with larger-than-life characters. And there's not one guy in TNA that when you look at him, that you think, wow, he's larger than life.
The Pope.
There's not.
I'm not saying that to just get your goat. I'm saying it because he's got a unique look.
He doesn't, but he doesn't look like, he's anything super special.
Linda and I talked about that on Interactive yesterday. WWE's new breed of guys, aside from Sheamus, I would say, they're all normal. The Miz, normal. Cody Rhodes, normal. Jack Swagger, normal.
Did you say Cody Rhodes?
Someone sent that in an email. I'm simply reporting what was said yesterday on PWR Interactive.
Okay. Ever since I posted my Cody Rhodes Toys R Us deal, how many more have we seen of those?
How many more? Yeah, we got an email actually. And let's go to the voting right now in the TNA poll. Something's wrong. This can't be right. But currently in the lead, Desmond Wolfe, 50% of the votes.
Yeah. See.
Second place, Matt Morgan, 34%. Third place, Ken Anderson, 5%.
Yeah. Where's Pope?
He's injured right now.
But not even getting any votes?
He has several thousand votes.
Okay. Not in the top 5. But anyway.
This week.
But listen. This poll that TNA is doing is going to backfire on them something fierce.
Speak it.
Well, because you can go on there and vote for the Pope 100 times in an hour if you wanted to.
Right.
So you're not getting a true vote. I mean, it's ridiculous. This is going to look stupid where they're going to put it this way, if Brother Runt was on there, he could win, Spike Dudley, he could win this thing and then get a title match. It's ridiculous.
All right.
It wasn't well thought out. Or what they
but they didn't communicate that it was not just a 1 week or that it would be a weekly thing. It was like all of a sudden, and then it reset, and they really didn't tell anybody that.
I mean, Desmond Wolfe is a great talent, but you know what? Nobody's going to want to see him week after week after week wrestling for the title.
Well, but they do, because they keep voting for him.
One person keeps voting for him.
That's 360,000 votes.
And that's why Meathead is not here. He's too busy voting for Desmond Wolfe.
Now, come on, he's getting prepared for his big marital bliss weekend.
Did you follow him on his bachelor party?
Absolutely not.
Oh my gosh, he had like some blue mushroom on his chest. Oh, that was ridiculous.
Is there any story in the fact that Raw has taken a 7% ratings hit since January 4th, March 8th?
We talked about this.
We did, but is there any merit to that? Is the business just that far down?
It's that far down.
Did TNA have an impact?
They
May have been.
didn't have an impact. It's that
None?
far down. No. Because if they would have had an impact, they'd still be on Monday nights. They wouldn't be on Thursdays.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Now
fine.
you're
I can't
all
find
right.
that. Someone had a very interesting email that they sent in regarding these Cody Rhodes action figures that you found at a particular Toys R Us that was
Yeah.
about to go out of business on sale.
No, it wasn't going out of business.
It had to. Who's going to put that many Cody Rhodes figures on sale?
There's that many there. There's no one else was buying them. You know it's bad when the Kazarni figure, who was never on TV, is outselling Cody Rhodes.
Last night was the first night. Impact was back on Thursday. It's TNA Thursdays, the reaction show. They're branding it. They have an opportunity to go unopposed. We don't have the ratings information yet. It's a tape show. Everybody knows what's going on. Will they carry forward that 2 million plus viewers that they've been doing combined over the two nights, Mondays and Thursdays, since they did replay on Thursdays?
I don't think so. Because people aren't going to find them that watched them on Monday. Because they don't advertise on Mondays saying we're now on Thursdays.
People go there looking on Monday, they found Star Wars and said, oh,
They didn't
must
see
have been
one
gone.
commercial saying, hey, check out Impact on Thursday night.
In the DVR age, though, where you just do a series recording or when TiVo gets to know you and it knows
Mhm.
what you watch, does that matter as much? Because it's going to find it anyways.
On a DVR?
Mhm.
Unless you're on Thursday, it's not going to find you.
No. If you just pick TNA Wrestling or WWE Raw, and anytime it's on, it's going to record it. I'm not sure what
Well,
service you use,
you
but
gotta-
my highfalutin service.
Well, you got to just make sure everyone knows how to use those things and that they have those things.
You know, you can watch this very show on TiVo Premiere and on Roku
God
Player.
bless you.
And yeah, even YouTube now on some TVs, native out of the box. You can play.
Well, because we're over. We're a huge hit, especially overseas.
We got to get to the. I did confirm Linda for our trip to the UK.
You're bringing her along?
Absolutely.
Well, then everyone's going to show up.
WWE NXT this past Tuesday night had a series of eliminations. One very, very noteworthy. The other two, not so much. Skip Sheffield, gone. Wasn't he the cracker-born meathead?
He's
or
the
something?
corn-fed meathead? Not surprising. That gimmick was going nowhere.
Here's the question: when you're gone from NXT, what does that mean?
Means you're going
I
back
mean,
to
obviously it's a
FCW.
storyline, but is that the case?
Yeah, they'll probably bring him back as the fake Kane or something like that, you know?
Or fake Diesel and Razor
yeah,
Ramon?
fake Diesel Razor, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that, we had a good discussion this past Wednesday on the ESPN radio show, Special Day, Special Time, about the career of Jim Ross, as we have learned that his time on air is gone. You know,
Wow.
remember he brought in the fake Diesel and the fake
Yes, he
Razor
did.
Ramon back in 1997.
And Kevin Nash, to this day, still thanks them for giving them a raise. Because WCW really believed that Razor and Diesel were going back, and they threw him an extra $1.5 million a year on top of what they're already getting. Just
Really?
like-
Because
yeah.
of that angle?
Yes.
Well, when they came over, didn't they have long terms?
They thought they
Not
were
long
leaving.
time, long
no,
terms.
they thought they were leaving. They thought there was like some, escape clause or something they got.
Michael Tarver, gone. He said he wanted to be gone, so they granted him his wish.
He was terrible. Who cares about Michael? I mean, I'm sure he's a
Well,
great
they won't
guy.
have a chance to now.
Well, he didn't have the it factor,
As in David Otunga?
as in David Otunga.
As in, not Skip Sheffield, but as in, his name escapes me, Jericho's guy, Flower.
Yeah, he's going to be a star.
Daniel Bryan, gone. However, he told us that we may have seen the last of Daniel Bryan, but we have yet to see Bryan Danielson.
He's going to be their big star. They love him. The fans love him. Fine, send him home. bring
The
him back.
coal miners?
The coal miners, yeah.
That's what Michael Cole is calling his internet fans.
Really? The
Yeah.
coal miners? Well, you know what that means.
Who has more
the
internet
coal miners
fans?
have
Meathead?
daughters, so then he's doing all right.
Who has more internet fans, Meathead or Michael Cole?
Linda. Linda has more fans.
What is the evolution of Bryan Danielson? If this was the plan all along, this is a stroke of brilliance by WWE. Only because, Bryan Danielson finally signed with WWE. He's coming to WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Daniel Bryan. And they run him down on commentary and all that stuff. He's working in bingo halls, blah, 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 blah. All that to get to this point where Bryan Danielson has an opportunity in WWE.
It's making the fans want him that much more. Get rid of him. They'll be like, why? Yeah, he may never have won a match, but he was always number one in the pros poll, right?
Right.
Just going to make him a stronger babyface.
All right.
You watch. Miz is going to beat Bret Hart, and then Daniel Bryan can beat The Miz, and it means that much more.
Who's going to beat Bret Hart?
The Miz.
Okay, very good. 3 eliminations in 1 week, and I believe we'll get another elimination next week. Are things moving a little too fast on NXT?
No, they have to. Time for a new season in the fall.
Oh, we got
It's been
months until the
stale.
fall.
It's been
yeah,
stale.
You're right.
They got to change it up a little bit.
Speaking of stale, their ratings have been stalling. Each week they've been going lower and lower with what I think is actually an interesting concept and a daring concept by WWE, adding these gaming elements.
You know what, though? If they would have done it more like Tough Enough, where they actually show how these guys train and work and perfect their craft, people would be more, and I say this all the time, emotionally invested into them. But it's always the same, 8 or 10 guys wrestling the same 8 or 10 pros.
Yeah.
It's like a bad rerun.
Especially an interesting mix of people wrestling this past Monday night on Raw. When it was 4 NXT guys versus Morrison, who got a Jeff Hardy-esque pop on Monday, which was very surprising. I'm not sure if it was a surprise factor.
Linda was there.
No, she likes that orange guy.
The orange guy?
With the muscles now on Twitter, John Cena. Did you know that?
No, I thought she liked John Morrison.
Maybe as well, but we couldn't get beyond Cena.
Oh, okay. I guess.
I didn't see that.
All right.
What do you see next from NXT? What would you like to see, or do you care? It's on up against V, so I have trouble. However, next week is the season finale.
You know what? So. The first week I thought was great.
We were there live.
We were there live. But since then, it's been flat. I just haven't enjoyed it.
I would tend to agree. WWE Raw this past Monday night, David Hero. 2 words. Excuse me! Vicky Guerrero announced as the general manager of Raw. Okay, Vicky is a great heel. Vicky is a great character. Vicky is an asset to WWE. I thought it was very well played until she quit at the end of the night. Edge comes out and he says that he got a message from WWE offices that the guest hosts would be stripped of power. So now they need a GM. So Vicky's at GM and then she quits.
She'll be back.
Oh, of course. There's no doubt. She got pressured into quitting. She didn't mean it.
Well, Randy Orton, he's one bad dude.
He'll beat a woman.
Absolutely. That's
in
Stephanie
professional
McMahon.
wrestling on TV.
Yeah, you better make sure you get that.
Don't want that getting out there that I said that about Randy.
Yeah, because God knows how they all react. You say something, take it the wrong way. Go ahead, move along. Move along.
SmackDown. This is a spoiler. This is information about what's going to air on SmackDown tonight if you have not yet watched it. Meaning
we can't talk about it.
No, we can warn and then talk about it.
Okay.
Give us 5 minutes, then come back. As you know, it's an Intercontinental Championship match. Kofi Kingston versus Christian. Kofi Kingston wins that matchup and is the new Intercontinental Champion, but Drew McIntyre shows up. He's got a letter. He's got a letter that he hands to Theodore R. Long, and then Teddy Long presents Drew McIntyre with the Intercontinental Championship again.
I'm sorry.
Drew is again the Intercontinental Champion.
Who did Kofi beat?
Let me see. Christian.
And
he was ECW champion.
He's still not being punished. He can't even win the title to lose it back on technicality.
Punished for what?
For going to TNA. He's still being punished. He can't even win
to
lose.
Match.
He can't even win to lose.
Were his action figures there as well?
I didn't see one of them. He's a hot seller. Kids like Christian.
Christian's over. But just
not with Vince.
Do you think he wants to be? Do you think he cares? Do you think he knew
what?
that when he went
I'm going to be
back?
honest with you. I've seen the car Christian drives. I've seen his house. And I've seen his wife. He could care less.
He's on top of the mountain?
He is living the dream. Yes. He is no longer that guy from The Brood who did the job to Gilbert. Okay? He's rolling.
Interesting scenario, and so much more heat now on Drew McIntyre.
It's Vince's guy.
Chosen one. But so was Elijah Burke, otherwise known as the Pope now.
But not really. He really was. I mean, it was on ECW.
But not really.
A show that nobody watched.
At the time, people were watching it.
But SmackDown is the #2 show.
Right. So Drew's better because he's picked as Vince's guy on the #2 show?
Absolutely, yeah. ECW, just a bunch of stuff thrown together to see what's going to stick.
All right.
And when Vince came out, he picked the new breed as his new guys. He didn't say...
No, he did specifically pick Elijah Burke.
Yeah.
He specifically picked Elijah Burke. If we can find that clip, we'll go ahead and pop it up on pwrshow.com.
Have Cal look for it. I'm sure it's on there somewhere. I'm sure he'll lose the tape, too. He knows people.
You're just bitter. Every time we bring up the P word, you're bitter.
No, I'm not bitter. I'm just tired of being attacked about it.
Oh, yeah. Like you attack me about Cody. Like you attack me about The Miz.
First of all, I put The Miz over saying he should probably beat Bret Hart.
Yes,
and I was just letting you know that you can buy your Cody Rhodes figures on sale at Toys R Us.
$6.99.
$6.99. And it wasn't just, there was a bunch. So you could like get one for every day of the week. I could just picture, like how Bert and Ernie have their rubber ducky. You can have your Cody Rhodes.
Rubber ducky,
right?
You're the one.
Could be your Rhodes on a rope.
Why did you buy it? I'm not sure about that. Listen, I have no idea what I was going to say now. You have completely derailed me. Wow.
Christian,
yeah, you made your point there. I think we're done with that. Let's move on to TNA Sacrifice this Sunday. Rhodes on a rope. Nice. TNA Sacrifice this Sunday on pay-per-view, coming to you from TNA Wrestling down in Orlando, Florida. And let's go down the card match by match. As a matter of fact, David Hero, we're going to be in Hammond, Indiana this Friday night at a TNA Wrestling Live event. First one since October.
Yeah.
It should be fun times. They
I
got a
don't
casino
know.
there.
It's going to be interesting,
Why is that?
Well, because I'm going to be hanging out with Mr. Anderson. You don't like him.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is David Hero trying to bury me.
No. You like hanging out with the Pope. Your buddy's not going to be there.
Let me make this.
I was going to Hammond to see the Pope, but he's not going to be there.
Cal, could you do me a favor and hand me the black T-shirt over there? Cal, if you could there's a black T-shirt over there next to the production equipment. Thank you. Are you going to wear this too?
Well, first of all, that won't fit over my head.
Oh, this is fine. This is fine.
Sure.
Since you're supporting the Pope so much all of a sudden, and that was the one he headlined.
You know what? I was going to
go. He main evented.
I was going to go and talk to him and explain it to him and say, "Hey, there's a misunderstanding here."
That time will come. I can't believe you this week. Jeff Hardy versus Ken Anderson. That's this Sunday at TNA Sacrifice on pay-per-view. Your thoughts on that matchup?
This match kind of pains me a little bit.
How so?
Because,
Jeff's trial was continued to June, so.
I know. That's why I think that Jeff might actually... Put it this way. Jeff is the golden boy in TNA.
That's where he probably should be.
And right now, I don't think there's anyone that has more heat on him in TNA than Ken Anderson. So I would love to see Ken go over on Jeff. Right now, it's a coin flip. I really can't pick a winner. Because
either
both
man
guys
could
have
win
a lot of
and
steam.
sort of benefit from it.
Yeah.
Should be a good time at TNA Sacrifice. You know what? I'm interested to see the next chapter of Anderson. He's gone through this Kurt Angle thing, and now gone through this Pope thing, which I guess is sort of on hold.
Well, he's hurt. Go figure. The guy's injured.
Sting versus Jeff Jarrett. Does anybody care? Does anybody care?
Well, you know what? I think it has the potential to be a good old school match.
Which is fun every now and then.
But I like Sting. It's in his contract.
Desmond Wolfe versus Abyss.
This is interesting because right now with Desmond Wolfe winning the last 2 weeks in the voting, do they want to keep the fans happy?
Well, as you said, though, it's Meathead voting for him repeatedly.
Okay, well, maybe it'll be like a wedding gift for Meathead. You know what? I think they've done all they can do with Abyss.
Yeah. It's not taking.
It's not working.
Just not taking.
So, Desmond Wolfe, yeah, I'll go with Roxy. Foxy.
Chelsea.
Well, yeah, I gotta go with Chelsea.
Somehow or another, she or the ring is on the line in this matchup. I don't know the specifics of that. But,
Well, if that's the case, then you gotta go with Abyss.
so he can get her?
Yeah, and then he can.
Because he won't lose the ring?
He won't lose the ring. You know what? Because that ring just keeps flopping all over the place.
What about Jay Lethal's ring? Ric Flair's ring?
Wasn't that awesome?
You know what? It was the only thing he could have done to make it better was to have stripped down to his boxers,
Yeah,
and they
just
would have been
started cutting
Florida
his
Gator
foot or
boxes.
something,
Yeah,
you know?
that was priceless.
You know, Jay Lethal's going to be in Milwaukee on June 11th.
At the Italian Rumble 2?
Wrestling Al Snow
Really?
for the GLCW Championship. It might be a 2 out of 3 falls match now. Al Snow versus Jay Lethal versus the Black Machismo, then Ric Flair.
The Black Flair?
Black Flair. Could be, could be a 2 out of 3 falls.
You know that idiot that does a radio show that used to work for TNA? Had used the fact that they refer to him as the Black Machismo
Mhm.
as a point to show that TNA was racist.
Wow. You think so?
I don't think so, but that lard ball.
You can call him what his
I
name
don't speak
is.
his name.
Okay.
And I know you got history, and
Well,
I
you know
respect
what?
that.
We used to be pals. It was a long time ago.
Tara versus Madison Rayne, and the career of both those ladies is on the line. We do know, though, that one of them is
Well,
on her
we
way
know,
out of TNA.
We know that Tara's on her way out. What a great moment for Madison Rayne. Talk about getting over big by retiring from TNA, Tara.
Really?
Well, I would have thought Velvet Sky would beat her,
Yeah, makes some sense.
Mhm. But they're going to let Madison Rayne, get a little bit of excitement going.
The X Division Championship will be on the line as Kazarian takes on Doug Williams. There is another Volcano, by the way. I don't know if you noticed.
I like Kaz. I think they got to keep things rolling with him. I think him and Williams are going to have a great match. Both guys are just, tremendous high flyers. I think it has a ton of potential, but there's no reason for Kaz to drop the belt so quick.
Well, Williams never lost it. Remember, he was stripped of the title at the Pope's pay-per-view.
Wait. What was the main event of this match?
Pope AJ.
No, it
Oh, the
was
main event?
Team Hogan
The main event was
versus
Pope AJ.
Team Flair.
The headlining match was Team
The
Hogan versus
headlining
Team...
main event was Team Hogan versus Team
It's
Flair.
semantics. You're talking circularly.
No, I'm not. I'm talking straightforward.
Matt Morgan with a partner of Hulk Hogan's choosing versus Inc. Jesse Neal and Shannon Moore. And the main event. RVD versus AJ Styles for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship at Sacrifice this Sunday on pay-per-view.
You gotta love RVD.
Absolutely.
They gotta keep rolling with him. You know what's amazing? How can they not put the new TNA World Tag Team Champions on there? How can Hall and Nash,
Maybe
TNA
something will
Tag
happen
Team
this.
champions?
Maybe something happened last night that we didn't get a chance to see as of this taping concurrently.
Okay. I don't think so, but
So it's
where's ODB?
You know what? I think she's at a Twins game.
I think you're right. You know she's gonna celebrate her birthday.
This is big news. This is hot news.
Well, we're gonna have a big birthday party.
A
ODB and
tailgate
myself,
party.
and a tailgate party.
Free flowing Miller Lite. Free flowing ODB.
That
Milwaukee.
That could be dangerous.
David the Hero.
You can't beat
Fridays.
That. You can't beat it.
It's going to be one of those.
We'll have more
epic
information
nights.
next week.
Maybe there'll be a picture of you getting tweeted out saying, "Yeah,
I
we're
will
taking
not
the cab."
have a blue mushroom on my chest. Guaranteed. I'm not the meathead.
Special night and time again for the Pro Wrestling Report next week as Major League Baseball is wreaking havoc on our radio schedule
I
on
didn't get
540
that memo.
ESPN. You didn't. It's breaking news. It's hot news. Cal just told me in my ear, but here. Next, this Thursday, actually, we're going to be after Impact. Thursday, May 20th, right after Impact, our first time ever. Check pwrshow.com for all the air times of that. We appreciate your patience through these differing days and times for the radio show. And once the NBA season is over, we'll get back to our regular
Does
Monday
anyone even
night
watch
schedule.
that anymore?
National Basketball Association?
Yeah.
I understand the WNBA is still around. Sacramento, I believe, just lost their team.
No one cares about the NBA anymore. We gotta talk to people. We are the #1 broadcast wrestling show in the world.
And people write about it. So thank you very much for tuning in to this week's edition of the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime. I don't think you want to miss next week's show. There should be some good stories to tell coming to you right here from these very studios.
Oh.
Meathead's wedding stories.
Hammond,
We're
Indiana.
going to the reception.
Hot news.
It's up in Minneapolis, right? The reception.
I think so. Yeah.
So lots to talk about, and thank you for tuning in. Keep those emails coming in and keep engaging us all the time at pwrshow.com. For David the Hero, this is Damian Nelson saying thanks for tuning in to this week's edition of PWR Primetime.